is up, you guys? I have not done a video like this ever. This will be the first time for me, and I wanted to kind of go over the aftermath car, the short film car, the daily driver. I have never made a video like this, but I wanted to do something new and refreshing, and I'm slowly but surely getting into cars and learning more and more. And so I wanted to make a video today talking about the short film car, the aftermath car, the Razorback. So before we go to the exterior and show you all the parts that actually matter to me, all the cool stuff on the outside, I wanted to go ahead and talk about what it is for a second. It's the 3.7 liter V6 2014 Mustang, premium option. So it has the whole leather interior, the My Color custom dash thingy, gauges, shaker audio. That's it on the inside. There's nothing really too terribly special about everything on the inside, but outside is where I really give a shit about what it looks like, because of this being the short film car featured in the short film. Maybe I'll play some clips here of it because I don't have much. Regrettably, I'm just not there yet as far as getting good car footage for the short film, but the end all be all, the end result that I want for the next installment, couple next installments for the short film, is to have more car stuff. So, without further ado, let's take a look on the outside. The short film series is set in the not-so-distant future of 2025, kind of a retro-futurist comic book kind of vibe to the whole story, and we needed a car that kind of emulated that personality as well, taking a lot of inspiration from the original 1979 Mad Max V8 Interceptor. We wanted this car to look and feel like it's aggressive but still clean in a world of dystopia. So we have the staggered stance conic wheels, a 15 offset on the rear so it sticks out past the fenders, the diffusers, the louvers, all of this on the back end making the car very aggressive. It's a modern car for a modern story, and I feel like the aggressive nature of its looks really encapsulates the feeling of the short film series. Okay, so back inside the car, we're going to talk about a little bit about this car, what we have done to it. It's almost bone stock. I got this recently. I had another 2014 V6 Premium prior, and I just had that taken from me. And I say taken because it was in a total accident, other driver's fault, and because airbags deployed, insurance was like, nope, we're not fixing it. And honestly, it sucks, but it is what it is. That one was a V6 Premium with tan leather interior instead of the black leather interior, so we did get a bit of an upgrade. I also unfortunately door dashed in that previous car, and that one had unfortunately 156,000 miles on it when it was totaled. So this one, bought it at 77,000 miles. We are now up to 80,000 miles. Honestly, after driving two different V6 Premiums, very much realized that the first one might have had a lot more wrong with it than I thought, because that was the only car I had driven, the only Mustang I had driven. That was my gauge of how it handles. And yeah, it turns out I think there was a lot more wrong with that car than I had anticipated. The thing I noticed right away that kind of, I wouldn't say proved that to me, but proved that to me, was the first car shifted very hard from first to second, and then it would shift down from third to second very hard. Basically, like if I had to describe the sound, like first to second, it'd be like a notable kind of bump into second, and that obviously that didn't seem right. It was kind of weird that I was doing that. And then if the car downshifted from third to second, anything 1,000 RPMs or higher, it would do this kind of and then like move and like, you know, jump now that it was engaged into second gear. So there was definitely some things wrong in the transmission. Aside from that, the car drove beautifully. At the end of the day, I came out on top. I got a brand new, to me, V6 Premium Mustang 2014, my favorite year of the Mustang. It's the last year of that retro futurism body style that they did. Taillights are easily my favorite taillights of all the Mustang styles. You can get aftermarket taillights that are the 2015 kind of style and up for this make and model, but I think there's just something about the 13-14 model taillights that just, I think is just the best looking ones. So what do we have done to this car? We're gonna do a little bit of test driving. I'm gonna pop up my phone in the headrest. I've seen this trick on Reels and Instagram Reels and TikTok of people sticking their phone up in the headrest to record driving shots. So we're gonna do that in a little bit. But first, let's go over what is done to the car. So buying this car, I was under the impression it was bone stock. Driving it, test driving it, it seemed like it handled how my car did before I put a bunch of performance parts on it. So I was under the impression it's bone stock. There's nothing special about this car. while I was putting on my SR Performance mufflers, I noticed, looking down the length of the car while being under it, that it had a resonator delete, and in place it had an H-pipe. I'm still new to this. I'm not entirely versed in how much better the H-pipe is in contrast to an X-pipe, or if neither one of them really offer much different from the resonator. I'm assuming that having the resonator delete and having an H-pipe or an X-pipe in place makes a hell of a difference. I know it makes a power difference for the V8. I'm not sure if it makes a power difference for the V6 because it is a smaller engine. The 2014 V6 has the 3.7 liter, it's either called, I've heard it called either one, Cyclone or Cyclone engine. I've heard people say both of those, and I don't know which one is correct. You tell me in the comments because I have no idea. I'm still learning as it turns out. In addition to the 3.7 liter engine, I have put on a BBK throttle body. I think the stock throttle body is like a 65 millimeter, maybe smaller than that, like the diameter opening. And then I think the BBK throttle body, if I had the box in the car still, I think it's something like a 70 to 73 millimeter. I could be mistaken. I know it's somewhere in that ballpark. With the BBK throttle body, I also have a Spectre cold air intake. I know it's not K&N. You don't need a super high performance cold air intake with this little baby V6. It just turns out that it's really not even cold air. It's more like warm air. That's all we have as far as performance goes. I wanted to keep it nice and simple for right now. I want to slowly build the car up. I love the idea of having a V6 that I get to really project with. I really get to get these parts that are adding performance and then start adding more parts and start doing this and tuning, pedal commanders, all that kind of stuff to really feel out the difference and really project this car. It is a daily driver. Up until recently, I've actually been rocking mid-grade gasoline instead of the premium. I've noticed that premium in this car, because I daily drive this car to work, it turns out the premium burns very quickly. Now that could just be me, but it feels like the car burns premium very quickly. So I opt for the mid-grade. Now, where I'm at, you have Maverick gas stations, and they have two different mid-grades. They have your 89 octane, and then your 90 octane, I think. And recently I did actually do the higher end mid-grade from Maverick, and I definitely noticed a performance difference. Do anything below mid-grade, it's horrible. The car does not seem like it wants to really get up and move and actually drive. Most of the mods on the outside is what I really want for this car. It is the Shortfilm car, so it has to really look the part. It is a fast daily driver. If I'm not mistaken, this car makes 305 engine horsepower, but only about 260 of that actually makes it to the wheels. If the internet is not lying to me, only 260 of that actually makes it to the wheels. And that's not horrible, but we want to minimize that lag as much as possible when it comes to engine to wheels. So throwing on the BBK throttle body and the cold air intake, I've read that it should be a gain of like 20 horsepower. So I should be anywhere from, I think it said like 275 to 283 in wheel horsepower, which is great for a V6 daily driver. And for the sake of it being a Shortfilm car, I can spin tires, I can make it look good on camera, and that's what matters, really. So now we've gone over all the specs as far as engine performance, everything about this car. Let's go ahead and do some driving. So I actually have no idea how well this camera is gonna work, being postured up like this to try to capture driving footage. I will be driving in the manual sport mode. I like the power, I like having the control of the power far more than driving in an automatic sport mode. It seems like I have more control of the RPMs. Doesn't even seem like it is. I'm telling the computer to shift gears when I want to, which ultimately gives me more power over the RPMs than when I want the car to launch, really. And the sweet spot that I've noticed really is like second into third gear is kind of our sweet spot. Now, I could be mistaken. I'm still learning as I go. I'm still finding out all these new things about this car, so here we go. We're not gonna be able to get as much of a launch on this on-ramp because there's a car in front of me, but oh well, we're going. I never know if I should expect a car to really launch or not when they get on the freeway, when I get stuck behind somebody. I never know if I should expect them to actually bust a move and drive or not? Well, the putting the phone in the headrest idea really didn't work as well as I was hoping it would, but that, you know, trying new things here. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video anyways. I hope you guys enjoyed looking at the car. I just enjoy cars. I'm getting to a point that I just want to see cool cars. I go to cars and coffee meets all the time, and it's just so much fun to see what people drive and what they, you know, take to the car meet, what they build up. You know, we all get into cars because we just enjoy cars, and it's really fun. I really enjoy learning all the new stuff I'm learning about this car, all the things I can do to it. I think the next modifications I want to do under the hood is I do want to get it tuned. I'm getting told from kind of just like the community around Mustangs that I can do I think it's like an altitude tune, just to like tune it to my region, and the car will breathe better, gas mileage will be better, that kind of stuff, and obviously horsepower will kind of tune up. So that's kind of what I'm leaning towards under the hood. I mean, long term, I'd love to actually put a Pro Charger or a Supercharger, whatever the hell it is, under the hood. I've heard you can turbocharge these things, Pro Charge these things, and it all fits under the hood, because there's just so much fucking engine space in there. That'll be really fun. Exterior mods, I'm very simple, because I want this to be this kind of Mad Max kind of, you know, not look-alike, but has that kind of vibe to it, without it being rusty and dirty and, you know, gross and lots of browns. I want to keep it still very modern. So the next mods I want on the exterior is actually very simple. Just doing some matte black accenting to some of the panels. The top of the car, the whole rear deck lid would look really cool in matte black. I used to have a red stripe on the hood, and I'd love to do that stripe style again, but in matte black, so you don't kind of like recognize it right away. Eventually, because we want these like kind of like different, you know, I like the mix match a little bit of gloss with matte. So I kind of want to do the front bumper and the rear bumper panels also in matte black. And then probably do the bottom of the doors, just like kind of do a banner across the bottom of the doors, like kind of a bottom rocker in matte black. So it has just these kind of accents. The original 1979 Mad Max V8 Interceptor was two-tone. It was matte black, or like satin black, and the gloss black. So it's kind of the idea we're going for, is that kind of look, to kind of pay homage to what really inspired the short film series. If you guys like what you see here and you want to support, then please, by all means, go watch the short film series here on YouTube. I will link it down in the comments below, in the description actually. I'm still starting out. Anything that is not got me on camera, I'm actually filming. So it is kind of rugged sometimes, but I'm learning, and I do all the special effects. I do all the cinematography myself. I'm still learning, so bear with me. If you guys want to support me some more, I do have my online shop. I will link that down in the description as well. I have t-shirts. Basically everything in my shop is themed around the short film series. I have blaster box sets that are the blasters, the 1-to-1 scale blasters from the short film series. I still do Star Wars content sometimes, so I have my helmet pin that you can go pick up in my online shop. I have all kinds of goodies in my online shops. Just go check it out. Thank you guys. See you next time.